All right, let's get right into a truly fascinating topic. We're going to be talking about the architecture of longevity. What it means to live a very long life. But we'll be looking at it from two angles, modern science and our timeless faith. And we're going to start with a question that, believe it or not, science is taking very, very seriously these days.
For basically all of human history, getting old was just a fact, right? It was something you couldn't change, a universal constant. But this question right here challenges that entire idea. There's a whole new field of science that's starting to see aging less like a rule and more like a problem. And maybe, just maybe, a problem that can be solved.
And that, of course, leads to this really mind-blowing question. Can humans actually rewrite time? And look, this isn't some movie plot anymore. This is a serious, legitimate question being asked at the very edge of modern biology, in real labs right now.
So to really get into the Islamic perspective, we've got to understand the science first. What are scientists actually talking about when they say something like rewriting time?
Okay, so this is the official field. It's called longevity science, and we're not talking about a fountain of youth or some magic potion here. No, this is a serious, rigorous field of study that looks at aging not as something that's set in stone, but as a biological process, one that we might actually be able to change.
What's so interesting about this is how it totally reframes aging. It's not this big, mysterious thing that just happens anymore. Instead, science is breaking it down into specific, measurable problems. Things like our cells getting damaged, errors creeping into our genetic code, our metabolism just slowing down. And you know what? If they're just problems, well, problems have solutions.
And this is a really key point. There's a huge difference between lifespan and health span. Lifespan is just the total number of years you're alive. But health span, that's the number of years you're actually healthy and feeling good. The goal here isn't just to tack on more years at the end. It's about adding more life to the years we have. Extending that time of vitality, of being able to contribute.
And I want to be clear, this isn't just talk. This research is moving incredibly fast at some of the biggest institutions in the world. You've got cellular reprogramming happening at places like Harvard. You've got Google pouring resources into a company called Calico that's focused only on this. We even have things called epigenetic clocks now that can literally measure your biological age. It's becoming very, very real.
Okay, so that's the science side of things. Now let's build a bridge to a much deeper, more profound way of looking at time. How does our faith help us understand this incredible new power that humanity might have?
Islam has always had a very profound view on time. Look at this verse from Surah Al-Asr. By time, indeed, mankind isn't lost. It's not just the clock ticking. Time is framed as the very currency of our lives. It's the capital we've been given to spend on our journey back to Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And this really shows the fundamental difference in perspective, doesn't it? The purely secular goal might be to, beat time, to live forever. But the Islamic goal is completely different. It's about being held accountable for the time we're given. The focus isn't on quantity, it's on accountability.
So, from an Islamic point of view, getting more time isn't so you can have more vacations or buy more things. Not at all. It's for a much greater purpose. A longer life actually means more responsibility. It means more accountability. And ultimately, it means more opportunity to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And this whole idea of using knowledge to take care of our health and honor life, this is nothing new for us. It's not some modern reaction. It's actually a deep, deep part of our intellectual heritage.
For centuries, Muslim physicians were absolute pioneers. They were studying diet and preventative care way back when. They wrote volumes on mental health and lifestyle. And it all came from this core belief. A healthy body helps support a focused soul. They saw science and spirituality as two paths leading to the same truth. It's a powerful reminder that taking care of this body, this vessel, is crucial for the journey of the soul.
All right, now we get to what might be the most important part of this whole conversation, the really deep ethical and spiritual questions that all this new science forces us to ask ourselves.
Here's the first one, and it's a big one. If we can extend life, who actually gets to? Is this just going to be something for the super rich? Are we going to create a world where some people can buy more time while everyone else gets left behind? You can see the huge issues of justice and fairness this brings up right away.
And maybe there's an even deeper question. What's the spiritual cost? The reality of death gives our lives a sense of urgency, a sense of meaning. If we can just push that further and further away, what happens to us? Do we forget our place? Do we lose our humility in front of our Creator?
This is why, from an Islamic perspective, a long life isn't automatically a reward. It's not a prize. Think of it like this. It's a test. A longer life is simply a longer and maybe even a harder test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And that's the choice, really. Without faith, without a moral compass, this science could just become about vanity, about chasing youth. But if it's guided by faith, it can be something else entirely. It can become a profound act of service, a new way to honor the gift of life we've been given.
So this all leads to our responsibility, as an ummah, living right now at the very beginning of this new scientific age.
The key concept here is amana, a trust. In Islam, our bodies aren't our property to do whatever we want with. They are a sacred trust from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're not owners, we're caretakers. And when you think like that, it changes everything, from what you eat for breakfast to how you think about advanced science.
So the answer isn't to be afraid of this science or to reject it. The call is for the ummah to step up and lead the way. We need innovators in health who have strong iman. We need scientists who care more about human dignity than about vanity. And we need leaders who see a longer life, not for themselves, but as a chance for long-term positive impact for the sake of Allah.
And really, that's the bottom line. That's how we should measure all of this progress. Living longer only matters if we live better. The success of a life isn't measured by how many years we get, but by the quality of what we do with those years.
You know, our ancestors, they were the leaders in knowledge for their time. They built an entire civilization that held up both science and faith. So this last question isn't just something to think about, it's a challenge. To every single one of us. They changed the world with their knowledge. What will you build now? Presented and created by Norton Studio.